Have you ever worked with a long list of sales or product data and needed to pull out just one detail, like a supplier, a price, or a category, without scrolling endlessly? That's exactly what lookup functions are made for. Today, we'll explore Excel's three main lookup heroes: VLOOKUP, HLOOKUP, and XLOOKUP, what they do, how they differ, and when to use which. By the end, you'll know how to connect data across sheets and fetch any value from your tables like a pro. I've prepared a simple sales data set. We've got a products sheet and table with product names, supplier, price, category, and stock. Two sales sheets, one called Sales V for our VLOOKUP examples, and another called Sales X for XLOOKUP. Each sales sheet lists sales transactions like date, product name, quantity, and revenue. To make things easier, I already added three empty columns: supplier, price, and category, so you can clearly see where we'll place the lookup functions. You'll notice there's no separate sheet for HLOOKUP. That's because it works a bit differently. We'll see later why it doesn't need its own data sheet. Now we'll use those lookup functions to pull in the product details automatically and connecting everything across sheets without typing any data manually. Let's start with the classic. VLOOKUP. V stands for vertical. It searches down the first column of a table and returns a value from another column in the same row. We'll begin with the sheet called Sales V, where we'll use VLOOKUP to pull in three details from the products table, the supplier, the price, and the category for each product sold. Before we look at the example, here's the basic syntax of VLOOKUP. The lookup value is what you want to find. In our case, the product name. The table array is where Excel should look for the product name. That's the products table. The column index number tells Excel which column to return data from, counting from the left of your table. And the range lookup defines whether you want an exact or approximate match. We'll almost always use false for exact matches. Now let's see them in action. To fetch the supplier, I go to E2 and type =, VLOOKUP, open parenthesis, B2, comma, and then I simply go to the products sheet and highlight the product and supplier columns instead of typing the range. Then I type comma 2, comma, false, close parenthesis, and press enter. Excel instantly returns the supplier name for each product in the sales table. Next, let's bring in the price. I move to F2 and repeat the same steps. I type =, open parenthesis, B2, comma, then I go to the products sheet again, but this time I highlight from product to price and type comma 3, comma, false, close parenthesis, and press enter. Now Excel returns the correct price for each product automatically. Finally, let's do the same for the category. I go to G2, type =, VLOOKUP, open parenthesis, B2, comma, then highlight from product to category in the products sheet. I finish with comma 4, comma, false, close parenthesis, and press enter. Excel now displays the category name for each item sold, perfectly matching the product list. Here's what's happening each time. We look for the value in B2, the product name, search for it in the first column of the products table, and return the corresponding value from the column we specify. VLOOKUP is simple and powerful, but it has limits. It can only look to the right of your lookup column, and the column index number can easily break if your table changes. For example, if I insert a new column in column C of the products sheet, maybe to add a discount or a product code, all the prices in the Sales V sheet suddenly turn to zeros. That's because the VLOOKUP function still points to the old column number. It doesn't automatically adjust when the table layout changes. That's one of the main reasons why newer Excel versions include XLOOKUP, which solves exactly this problem. Next up, HLOOKUP. H stands for horizontal. It works just like VLOOKUP, but searches across the top row instead of down the side. You'll rarely use it unless your data is laid out horizontally. Here's an example. I go to I2 and type =, HLOOKUP, open parenthesis, quotation marks, price, quotation marks, comma, then I highlight the first two rows in the products sheet and type comma 2, comma, false, close parenthesis. This finds the word price in the header row and returns the second row's value underneath. So if your data runs sideways, HLOOKUP saves you the trouble of flipping it. Now, let's look at the modern powerhouse, XLOOKUP. It replaces both VLOOKUP and HLOOKUP and fixes all their weaknesses. I switch to the Sales X sheet and go to E2. Here's how we'd rewrite our first example with XLOOKUP. =, XLOOKUP, open parenthesis, B2, comma. Then I highlight the product column in the products sheet, type a comma, and highlight the supplier column. And then I type comma, quotation marks, not found, quotation marks, close parenthesis, and press enter. Let's unpack that. It searches for the product in B2 inside the first column of the products sheet, returns the matching value from the supplier column, and if it doesn't find a match, it displays not found instead of displaying an error. Unlike VLOOKUP, you don't have to count columns. You can directly point to the lookup and return ranges. Now, let's repeat the steps just like we did for VLOOKUP. I go to F2 and type =, XLOOKUP, open parenthesis, B2, comma. Then I go to the products sheet again and highlight the product column as my lookup range. After that, I type a comma and highlight the price column as the return range, type a comma, quotation marks, not found, quotation marks, then close the parenthesis and press enter. Excel immediately returns the correct price for each product, pulling it directly from the products sheet. Next, I'll do the same for the category column. So I go to G2, I type =, XLOOKUP, open parenthesis, B2, comma, highlight the product column again, type a comma, then highlight the category column as my return range, type a comma, quotation marks, not found, quotation marks, then close the parenthesis and press enter. Now Excel shows the category for each item, perfectly matching every product in the list. And here's the great part. When we insert a new column into the products sheet, maybe between supplier and price, all of our XLOOKUP results still work perfectly. That's because XLOOKUP doesn't rely on column numbers. It uses direct references to the lookup and return ranges, so even if the layout changes, the functions always know exactly where to find the right data. Now that we've seen how stable it is, we can look at something even more powerful, a single XLOOKUP function that returns multiple columns at once. To do that, I first make sure the sales X table is converted to a normal range because array results don't work inside Excel tables. Just go to Table Design, click Convert to Range, and confirm. Once it's arranged, the function can spill across multiple columns without any problem. I'll now remove the existing functions from the supplier column, so we can fetch the supplier, price, and category all in one step using this function, $XLOOKUP, open parenthesis, B2, comma, highlight the product column in the products sheet, type a comma, then highlight the supplier through category columns, type a comma, quotation marks, not found, quotation marks, and close the parenthesis. When I press enter, Excel automatically spills all three results, category, price, and supplier, across the next columns. It's fast, flexible, and keeps all lookups perfectly aligned. Because we just converted the table into a normal range, this function doesn't autofill down anymore. So I'll now copy or drag it down to fill the remaining rows. That way, every product in our sales sheet gets its matching details. It's a quick and efficient way to enrich your data without typing a single value manually. Now, let's try the same insert column test again. Just like we did earlier with VLOOKUP, I'll insert another column into the products sheet, and this time you'll see something different. The spilled results now stretch one column further, and the layout looks messy. That's because XLOOKUP returns all the columns within the range we highlighted. When we insert a new column inside that range, Excel simply includes it in the spill. So instead of 3 results, we now get 4. It's not an error. It's just Excel doing exactly what we told it to. Still, even in this case, all the values remain correct, which shows how robust XLOOKUP really is. It may look messy, but nothing breaks. So, to summarize, VLOOKUP is great for quick, simple lookups down columns, HLOOKUP is for horizontal data, and XLOOKUP is the flexible all-in-one version for modern Excel. It is faster, smarter, and far more reliable. Once you start using XLOOKUP, you'll rarely go back. If this video helped you understand how lookup functions connect your data, give it a like, subscribe to Excel Hive for more real-life Excel examples, and let us know in the comments which lookup you use most, V, H, or X. And as always, happy Excelling!